quick story on this air conditioning on this 1995 S320. I'm in a shop. It came in flat. It was sitting for years. They filled it up, couldn't find a leak, and drove it for about 1,000 miles in a week, brought it back. Technician noticed 2 ounces was low, but on the old equipment, I would not trust the old R&R machines to be accurate within 2 ounces. Very common for these things to be flat after sitting 10 years or so, just through the hoses, but there's really no actual leak. The whole vehicle is a leak. All the hoses were natural leak from day one when it came off the assembly line. So I'm doing the one hose method, and I have the micron gauge on the high side. I'm pulling through the low side because I want to get the true reading of the micron level. They said they lost 7 inches of mercury vacuum overnight, and I told them to retest their machine. So, well, I think I'm down to 1700 right now. Let's see where I'm at. It's been on the machine for about 15 minutes. We're down, just dipped under 1700 microns. And when I turn off the vacuum into tenths, it just barely comes up into tenths really slowly. So I'm doubting their machine, not the equipment. So what I'm going to do is I'll do a vacuum, and you could leak through the shaft seal on some of these vehicles. That could be an issue, but right now what I'm picking up into how slow it's coming down and everything, that this has PAG oil, and it's latent, just heavily latent with moisture. And what I'm seeing is a problem, not refrigerant flashing out problem, but moisture flashing out problem. If it was me, I would leave this on a vacuum pump overnight, even 48 hours. They have the time. They were able to keep it a week, and then recharge it and do a receiver dryer. If they didn't want to do a receiver dryer, just leave it on a vacuum pump. I should have this down, as slow as it's going, I should have this down to 500, 300 microns by tomorrow. But I'm going to go off and do another job or two and come back in about 1 or 2 hours and then see where it's sitting. All right, hit you back with an update on this one. He already has dye in it, and this customer bought the H10 leak detector that I recommended it to, and they loved every day. They used it ever since then. They got really good at it. But now I'm going to put my Stratus up to it and put it in cloud mode, and told them we might even have to let it sit overnight if there is a tiny leak. This vehicle was known for having evaporators leaks, but those days are long gone and well over. This is the Mercedes back there in 90s that had the double windows where it has 2 pieces of glass suspended by rubber for sound deadening. And when these first came out, they were leaking when they were coming from the factory. Within 1 or 2 years, they had bad evaporators. 22 hours of R&R labor, or 27 hours of R&R labor for evaporator. All right, catch you back. We'll let you know what I find.